Hey, welcome back. Today I want to talk about the fish room that I'm currently building out, and one of the biggest mistakes that I've made so far with this fish room, and something you guys should avoid if you're looking to build your fish room. So let's go and take a look at how everything looks, and let me explain the biggest mistake that I've made. So right here, this is the room where I keep most of my tanks. And it's super messy right now, I'm not gonna lie. But there's also a lot of progress being made to this room. If you take a look at some of the videos 5-6 months back, this room looks completely different. It's transformed quite a lot, and I'm happy with the way this room is going. But it's just taking a little bit slow, and I apologize for that. I don't want to make excuses, but it's just been really tough to get things going. Building racks and setting up tanks. I mean, I want to make a lot of videos in this room, and that's the plan, to make videos for you guys that's interesting. But the biggest mistake I made is that I didn't plan out this room. I've heard that some people have also made this mistake of not planning their fish room, and then halfway through they figure out that's not what they want and they have to start over. So that's kind of where I'm at now. I'm kind of starting over this fish room, and the plan now is that I'm separating half of this room. I'm not going to put a wall up in the middle, but this half of the fish room from here, from this line to the wall over here, is where I'm going to focus on breeding fish. So I'm going to have a rack down the middle, not this rack because this one's going to get scrapped, but I want to build a rack down the middle and have it for breeding fish. This rack right here is for 10-gallon tanks. You can see a 15-gallon right there, but these 10-gallon tanks are going to be on this rack, so I'll have 12 of them, and the focus for these tanks will be growing out baby fish, fry, and breeding some of the smaller species of fish, like this right here. This is my Sabor resplendens, the Asian rummy-nosed rasboras. They're super beautiful fish, kind of skittish right now, but they'll come out for food, and they're amazing. And some smaller types of fish as well. Rasboras, 𝗯𝘂𝘀𝗀𝘀. Hopefully I can get them breeding, I'm not sure, but you gotta try. You can see I'm having some success with this fish right here. I'm not gonna mention what fish it is, but look at all those baby fish. And I'm gonna try to grow those guys out, but so that's something I'm working on. And then I'm also playing around with some guppies. These are my 𝗲𝘂𝘀𝘀𝗀𝘀 guppies. Look at how active and colorful they are. But yeah, these two tanks are 𝗲𝘂𝘀𝘀𝘀𝘀, and I'm hoping I can breed them, maybe sell them in the future. And yeah, and then I've got this rack here. I'm going to have these kind of 40-50 gallon tanks. I'm here in Japan. We don't use gallons. Most of you watching my videos are in America, so you guys use gallons, but this is about 50 gallons, I think. It's a 90 centimeter, 3-foot tank. These guys are just temporarily in that tank. They're going to be moved in the future, but I want to have more of these tanks. Another one here and another one down there. And I want to focus these tanks on rainbow fish. The 3 fish that I really want to breed in this fish room are rainbow fish, plecos, and angelfish. And those are the 3 fish that I want to focus on and maybe try to sell them in the future. So we're going to build a rack right here, a pretty long rack, and maybe have some, I think they're called 20-gallon highs, 60 centimeter by 30 by 45 centimeter tanks, and that's where I can focus on more angelfish as well as rainbow fish. And yeah, and then this will kind of be like display breeding tanks. So that's the plan, and that's what I'm looking forward to. And those tanks up there will be good for plecos as well as rainbow fish. They're kind of shallow, and I think they'll be perfect. So that's basically the plan for one half of the room. And now for the other half, I'll show you guys right here. Excuse this plant right here. Right now it's winter, so some of the hibiscus, if we keep them outside, they're just gonna die. So we brought them in just because this room is warmer, and I've got the aircon going on right now. So yeah, just to keep these plants alive. You can see some of the leaves falling. But not to get off topic, the other half of the room is where I want to keep some display tanks. And right now, you can see one of them right here. This is my 𝗃𝘃𝘀𝗀𝘀 Dutch style tank that still works in progress. Right now it's just a stock tank. I'm converting some of the plants that were grown immersed into their submerged form. So you can see this crypt is pretty cool. You can see those brown leaves, those are the new growth, and then the green leaves are all the previous old growth, so that's gonna die back and we're just gonna have more of that brown growth. But yeah, once those plants get converted, I'm gonna plant them in, and this tank will look a whole lot better. It's going to be like 90% crypts, and then we're gonna have this crinum. Look at that beautiful crinum. It's been growing so nicely. And then we've also got a tiger lotus right here. And this tank is mainly inspired by Gary Lang. If you don't know, Aquarium Co-op made a video of Gary Lang's tank, and it was just truly beautiful. So that is kind of inspiration from that tank. And then down below, the goal is to have another one of this tank down below, but to have it for African cichlids. African cichlids is what kind of brought me into this hobby, made me love fish so much. So down here I want to do an African cichlid tank. And over here you can see this rubber mat right here. On top of that, I'm going to bring my 4-foot aquascape tank that we'll take a look at in just a moment. But the 4-foot tank is going to sit right here, and this is where I'm going to focus on my aquascape contest. I've been entering the IAPLC contest for the last 2 years, and I want to keep doing it. It's quite fun to enter in contests, and I just want to focus this section for contests. And yeah, so on the wall I might put a poster up, an Aqua Design Amano poster or something like that. We'll see in the future, but I'm gonna bring the tank out here, and we're going to focus on next year's contest. And then in the middle of the room you can see some tape marked out. I want to build a rack or stand right here out of wood, and I want to do a few smaller display tanks. Maybe a couple 60cm tanks, maybe nano aquariums using DIY CO2, planted tanks, nano fish, stuff like that. I'm not so sure what I'm going to do with that rack. I'm going to change it, do something a little bit different there, because I'm not really happy with the setup right here. And then over here, where this hibiscus plant is, I want to put a stainless steel sink so that I can have water running in this room, because believe it or not, we don't have water in this room. So water changes are pretty tough here. When I do water changes, I gotta hook up the hose right here and connect it to this longer hose. I have my water filter in the middle, and I connect this hose to it, and I have to bring this hose all the way inside. The door stays a little bit open so the warm air kind of goes out, and it's not that efficient. I want to put a sink in here so that water changes can be more efficient, better. It'll also help when I want to clean stuff. I can wash my hands. It'll just be a plus to have a sink in the fish room. And then over here, some of you might be wondering what all this mess is piled up here, but this is just some of my uncle's stuff. I've got a light here too. This is Chihiro's light, but I've got some stuff here. My uncle has some stuff here, his Volkswagen parts. He loves his Volkswagen a lot, and he keeps spare parts in these containers. And yeah, so this is like all his section, but what I'd really love to do is to move this out into a room next door. There's another like kind of a storage room next door, and it would be best to clean this room out. I'll show you guys this room for the first time, but it's nasty, you guys. Yeah, okay, so that's all I'm gonna show you. But once this room gets cleaned up, I think it'll be good for storing stuff like that, stuff like his parts and stuff, because right now he's using this room. He lives next door. He's got a nice house next door, so yeah, I don't know why he's using this area, but hopefully we can move this stuff out, because I want to build a wall here for like tools and stuff, put like a French cleat system and have nice tools, and he can use those stuff whenever he wants, and I can use them whenever I want. And maybe like a couch right here so we can sit and relax, but I'm not sure. It's not a rush to get all this stuff done. What I really have to get started with doing is just building all the racks out and just moving the tank out here so that we can just start and get things done. And also the water. We need a sink right here so that I can do water changes easier, because it's gonna get much colder than this right now. It's gonna snow in the winter, and it just sucks to leave that door open, because cold air gets in and the hot air goes out, and it's just just not fun. So we're here in the mini studio. This is the room where I wanted to have my aquascape tank, one 4-foot tank right here, and a 2-foot tank over there, but I decided to scrap that idea and move all the tanks out in the fish room because water changes are not fun when you have to do them in 2 different locations, and I just thought it would be nicer to have all the tanks in one room. So let's get these lights on. We're using the 𝗲𝗾𝗀𝗀𝘀𝗀s, and right now I'm just going to put them on manual setting because we're not growing any plants in there, so it doesn't really matter intensity, but that's how it works. And let me put this here right now. So I just scrapped this tank like 2 days ago. I still haven't removed all the soil. You can see I'm pulling soil out right now, and I've got to throw this away. And you can see there's algae on the glass. Look at that. That is nasty. That is dried up. So I'm gonna have to get all the soil out and clean this tank up and then move it into the fish room, and then we can scape for next year. And take a look at some of this. This is the driftwood that was in the tank. So yeah, I've also got the filter out already, so you can see the cabinet is empty. Let me close this up. Get the other side. This side has this storage bin with just some stuff. Yeah. So I'm gonna be excited to get this out into the fish room. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And then this room, I'm going to be able to clean this room up because right now it's super messy. So I hope you kind of enjoyed this video of me just talking about the plans I have for this room. Probably not the most exciting video, but at least it gives you something to look forward to, and I'm really excited for all the progress that I have going on in this room. And I can't wait for all the builds that I have coming up. It's not really fun building wrecks, but it's fun setting up tanks and getting them going like this one right here. So I hope you guys are subscribed. Give this video a thumbs up, and I want to thank all the people who have been supporting me. Aquarium Co-op for the sponge filters. Those sponge filters are amazing. They've also been helping me out with a few other stuff. And then 𝗲𝗾𝗀𝘀𝘀𝗀 for all the lights. 𝗲𝗲𝗀𝗀𝘀𝘀𝗀, they've been amazing. And we've also got another supporter here that will help us with a few other products, so I'll mention them in a while. I'll show you some of their products coming very soon, but I hope you guys are ready for this fish room, and I'll see you guys next time.